Good evening, friends, and welcome to this special service for this Thursday night. A change to the usual order of service, but nonetheless not a change to what we are all about. For those that haven't heard, this is a memorial service for our ascended sister, Rev Wendie Perry, who passed to the higher realms of light on Monday morning. Wendy is, and always will be, my deacon and a minister of the New Christian Spiritualist Society, but most importantly, my friend. But beyond that, she was also a mother, a sister, a grandmother, an aunt, and also one heck of an awesome lady with strength, humour, and great civility. And so tonight we join together to honour her memory and wish her well in her new life in the world of spirit. We have mediumship tonight, of course, from Tony Swindells. We will be, of course, greeted by Reverend Lynn, and joining us tonight also Deacon Kathy Gibb as well. And we have Sam and Hannah waiting in the wings. We've got Alan for a reading. We've got Mum down in the corner, or we've got somebody here who wants a reading, maybe a few more in a few minutes too when they get sorted. But tonight is a memorial service. Now, why would we do such a thing on a Thursday night service? One of the things that Wendy and I often discussed was that this way of life is more than just the mediumship. It's a cornerstone, it's a centre, and it's a main focus. But there is so much more to spiritualism than just the mediumship. And tonight we are joining together, and all of you are most welcome to join with us in demonstrating another part of that, because this memorial service is for a friend above all else. And I just want to say a few words before we begin the service as usual, but it is in more of a form, rather than my usual homily, of an actual sermon for once, because I am quoting, which I don't very often do, and Wendy always used to say I should do it more because she enjoyed it. So this is for you, Wendy. And the point is, actually, over the last few weeks, Wendy and I have been discussing certain things. We've been getting, and Christian spiritualism has been getting an awful lot of bashing about the whole Christian part. And I can't publicly say Wendy's exact words about that, but anyone who knows Wendy will know how colourful those words would have been, and very appropriate too. However, what I will say simply is that life is eternal. And this is, of course, one of our spiritualist principles, and it is a cornerstone of spiritualist philosophy, as taught to us by those that have gone before us. It is a promise that we will continue to exist in spirit form forever and ever. Or is it? When we talk about eternity, everyone keeps looking forward, the life that is to come. But we forget that eternity is a two-way path. Forward, yes, but also backwards. And because we struggle like Nicodemus to get that point, we forget that point. Eternity is a never-ending loop. Eternally that way, eternally that way. There is no beginning, there is no end to eternity. And that is a demonstration of our soul. And of course, as I said, one of the last chats that I'd had with Wendy was about the amount of bashing we spiritualists get from orthodoxy, because the difference between our faiths simply teaches that the Christian Orthodox tradition teaches that the dead don't speak, and that the dead are not in heaven yet until they are called up by Jesus. Well, such edicts are there to control us and to maintain power and control over the masses. Now, the truth of our continued existence, awakening and conscious, is undeniable when dealing with mediums. But also, I would respectfully suggest to those who would say otherwise to our way of life that they need to reread those sacred texts and get a little context. You see, in John 3:13, we are told, no one has ever ascended to heaven except he who descended from heaven, the Son of Man. Now, whilst this is a hotly contested phrase, the Son of Man, in Hebrew it's Ben Adam. And in the Jewish tradition, this refers to us mere humans. And of course, Jesus was Jewish. So he would have used that term to not only describe his own human aspect and human side on this earthly plane, but also the rest of us too. He was saying that everyone goes to heaven and that we are eternal, forward and back forever. And that is indeed eternity. He was also teasing someone, that name that I mentioned a few moments ago, Nicodemus, who was a scholar, a teacher and a preacher, who didn't get what he was saying. So he was winding him up, telling him these things just to prove, as he said in text, that, well, actually, in fact, you don't get what I'm saying about wondrous things. So why would I tell you about anything else? So if we hold true to all of this, that we all get to go to heaven, when? One of the other things that we're told is that we are not arisen to heaven until after the second coming. However, what I will say to that, considering that John 3:13 is used to force that point home, we just discussed that and put it right. But the no's still come. So I simply ask this: are they calling Jesus a liar? Remember, they say that no one of us is in heaven. Luke 23:43. Jesus is on the cross talking with those also condemned, hanging from the crosses with him. And they're asking about what's coming next, asking about to have a good word with God on his behalf and all these things. And Jesus simply replied, truly I say to you, today you will be with me in paradise. Not give it 10,000 years or I'll be back for you then. So in my book, in every spiritualist's book, and in this book, life is eternal. We do go on forever, and we all have a right and a privilege that is part of being human to ascend to the heavenly realms. So I know that Wendie and all of those that we thought we had lost and loved are watching over us, and today are in paradise. We are all spirit, born of spirit from the beginning of time. We are all born of the first spirit. And this is God. And God broke itself a piece off and made a spirit and made another spirit. And they were called Adam and Eve. If you read those sacred texts of which we're talking about, everything started in the Garden of Eden, paradise, because they were talking about heaven. The fall from heaven, the fall to the physical, came after Eden. And of course, we're talking here about Adam and Eve, and on reference to Adam and that phrase, Ben Adam. Whilst he may have been literally, in the sense, the first of the tribe of Israel, spiritually, the first two human souls were indeed Adam and Eve, and Eden was indeed heaven. And all that came before the expulsion was based in that heavenly realm, that paradise that we've been speaking of. And after Adam and Eve came to earth, so did the rest of us, each in turn. So all of us are Ben Adam. All of us are sons and daughters of man, humans. And all those that we loved and lost, or thought we did, still watch with us each and every day. And of course, where do they watch from? They watch in that house that has many rooms, because that was also promised to us. We are all spirit. They are all spirit. And I have just given an answer to many people who criticize us. And in the words of Reverend Wendie Perry, they can stick that in their pipe and smoke it. Thank you all for listening, and God bless you all. And so now we are going to welcome our medium for this evening. His name is Tony Swindells. He is minister in waiting. He's almost there. We're waiting on Reverend Lynn to ordain him online, or fingers crossed, we might even get the hall soon. But here he is. Let's welcome Tony. Are you there?
I'm here. Hello.
Hello, mate. Hello, mate. Thank you for coming on. How are you, dear boy?
No problem. I'm fine, thank you. I'm fine. I loved your address. It was wonderful.
Thank you. Well, I'm sure I had a lot of help writing it. Let's put it that way.
Oh yeah.
One of Wendie's jobs, of course, as we all know, is to be the medium secretary. But one of the other things she used to do was correct me frequently. In fact, I spend my entire life surrounded by women who correct me. I think that's my lot in life, and I wouldn't have it any other way, of course.
Of course not.
So, as I said, thank you for joining us. Now, we will have our usual mediumship as always, but we also, I'm just reading the comments briefly because I haven't had a chance to. Lots of wonderful, lovely comments coming in, especially from your other half.
Yes, I've just seen it.
So there we go. In the theme of Wendie, always putting it exactly how it is. So tonight we will have our mediumship. Tonight we have 2 readings for everyone tonight, which is going to be a glorious, I know. And of course, we will be speaking to Reverend Lynn in just a few moments. And let's not forget the healing. We never forget the healing. But one thing I always do forget and get a text message after the service from 2 people, firstly, my mother, and secondly, Wendie, is a reminder that I forgot the opening prayer. So I am reminded aptly and in time tonight to ask that everyone just take a moment in the silence and join together as we say, Great Spirit, Father, Mother, God, we come to this place tonight together as friends to unite in our sadness, but also our hope and our joy and our knowledge that life is eternal. We ask at this time that a blessing be placed on this service and all those watching and all those that will watch, but in particular at this time, our dear sister Wendie, who I know is in your house with many rooms, watching over us, having fun at our expense, and having a good old giggle when things go wrong. For we know that we do not change. We do not change in any way when we transition to your world, other than we are shown the truth and the proof that we are indeed all immortal and eternal. And so I place this service in your care and keeping and make the statement as ever that everything we do will be in the name of love, in the name of truth, and in the name of light. Amen.
Amen.
Well, friends, now is the time in our service that I know everyone has interest in listening to. And I would like to do a double intro at this point. For we do not just have one minister joining us, we have 2 ministers. It's I believe the term is phalanx of ministers, and I'm sure I'll get a smack for using that one because I know it wound her up once before. Ladies and gentlemen and friends, let us welcome onto the screen Reverend Lynn Gibb-Diswards and Deacon to the Society, Reverend Kathy Gibb-Diswards. Hello, ladies.
Hello, ladies.
Hello.
And thank you so much, Reverend Nick, for that wonderful sermon. And it was just superb. And I'm sure that Reverend Wendie would be absolutely delighted with that. And of course, we were talking about her before we actually all went public with our comments and remarks and so on. And we were talking about how everybody had a problem with their spectacles today and their glasses, and how Wendie was asked for a sign. If you're there, I'd like a sign. And somebody's glasses fell off the table. So it's very, very fascinating how, those in spirit can actually do just little things, but they're so wonderful, aren't they? Because it's just such an amazing ability that they have to influence us down here. And thank God they do, because it's all for the good, contrary to what some of those that you were referring to might have others believe about us. And it's interesting also the way that those in spirit work, and Wendy knows that now firsthand, which is really marvellous, but for her and for us. And I was looking at the way everything links up. Whenever we get together, all of us, things link up. And Kathy had chosen a piece of reading, inspired verse from one of my very first teacher, Rita Foy, from Lewisham Spiritualist Church, who published a little book called Inspired Verse. And in it, you will hear a reference to something that you've been talking about, Reverend Nick. And secondly, you talked about, the many mansions in the Father's house. And of course, over there reflects down here. And we love to be, don't we? We love to be in spaces. We love mansions too, but we also love the many mansions and the various places that we can all live in down here. And the spaces within which we worship, the spaces with which we come together and make our feelings known to those in spirit. We worship, we praise, we pray. And we don't have to, of course, have a space designated. We can be in the open air, of course, and we can be anywhere we like. But you talked as well about the village hall. And we know that that if we do get the village hall as our space again, that Tony will be ordained. It will probably be the first thing we do. And of course, it will be televised. So, you'll probably be the first person to be live televised, being ordained, which must be an experience to come. And of course, dear Reverend Wendie was ordained in the village hall, we make it our sacred space for that period of time in which we're there. And apparently you can squeeze about 100 people in there. And of course, when the restrictions are lifted, I've got a feeling that we will be cramming quite a lot of people in that perhaps wouldn't have considered coming before the lockdown happened, but will definitely travel to us, both from within the village and surrounding, and perhaps even further afield. They would always be welcome on a Thursday night, we know. And of course, about the open space worship, the only thing that's left of Solomon's temple, which was a magnificent place of worship, is the wall. One wall is left. And there, of course, we know people gather, hundreds and thousands of people gather to actually worship in that open air space, which is the only thing that's left. I mean, I would consider perhaps, something like Coventry Cathedral that was bombed during the last World War. And, I would say that the space that Coventry Cathedral occupied at that time, although it had no roof left on it, was still a sacred space and had heard all those prayers and supplications of all the congregation that had gone before. So I would just like to say also that, to see our demonstrations of mediumship and our spiritualist services, we don't actually need a specific room or space we're proving that tonight. And of course, dear Reverend Wendie, she has all the space she needs, but I've got a feeling that she's probably, as we speak, organising, demonstrations of mediumship and all sorts of things like that, because she was so good at that. And I know that, there are so many good mediums over there. She must be having a field day. Just think of it. She'll be speaking to all the people that she helped, down here, get their message across. And now she'll be, being helped to get her message across to us. And I'm sure she'll come back and visit us in that way very soon. And I know that she's been back here and there. And the spectacles falling off the table is one instance, for instance, and other things like that. The other thing is that I would say, to echo your extremely erudite and scholarly sermon, Reverend Nick, is that Jesus said that wherever two or three are gathered in my name, there I shall be also. And, you know, with us as we are now, you know, we are all speaking to that one person or that two people, perhaps sitting there together, listening. Perhaps the family are sitting there listening to us, you know, and we know that we can assure them that, you know, as you say, Jesus was not a liar. God is not a liar either. And we can say that wherever two or three are gathered in the name of Jesus, there Jesus will be too. So we know that Reverend Wendie is with us here tonight. We know that for sure. You know, it's not just a dream situation, or we haven't got, yes, we have got vivid imaginations. We require imagination because it's a very similar vibration and frequency to that which is used by spirit to input their thoughts to us and perform their various actions. We have to utilize that wavelength in order for them to come in. That's why sometimes when people receive information and have various things happen to them that seem spooky, they think, oh, perhaps I imagined it. Perhaps I imagined it. Why? Because they are actually very similar vibrations. But as spiritualists, mediums, we develop that ability to discern the spirits. As Paul himself said, who was Shaul, as we know, before he changed his name to Paul. And he was actually a Pharisee of the Jewish Orthodox persuasion prior to his following of the spiritual way and Jesus' examples. And he was somebody who also was talking about us being together in this way. And I think really that Wendie will have access to all those wonderful people who have lived down here for their span of years and then gone on to follow that spiritual pathway. And she must be having a wonderful time. She must have been welcomed, you know, first, of course, by her daughter and family and over there as we are. And then she must have been amazed when she saw everybody else gathering round to congratulate her on a job really well done for the world of spirit, for spiritualism, and dare I say, for our particular brand of spiritualism, Christian spiritualism, and you know, all those mediums as well who perhaps were not vocal about their own core religious beliefs will be thanking her too for all her work. So I think that brings my little part of this service in tribute, sincere tribute to a wonderful worker for spirit. And she now joins those ranks of spiritualist pioneers who can be, you know, lauded and talked about in the same breath as all the others. I think that's wonderful. Now, what I'd like to do is introduce Reverend Kathy, because she chose, again, guided by spirit as we do, a reading for this evening in tribute to Wendie, and this is what Kathy actually was prompted to read.
Good evening, everybody. Why Wendie's about? Well, because she forced me through this evening. Come on, she said to me, let's get you here and supporting everybody, because this is an amazing church. We do spiritualism. It's important to spread the word. And, you know, Wendie would have a laugh, and that's what it's about. It's enjoying life. It's not being miserable. Her spirit lives on. She's not suffering anymore. And a brilliant, brilliant, loving woman, you know, and this is really for you. How I picked this, I don't know. I was going to look at the God Calling book, and I thought, no, that's a bit serious. So I thought, I know, Rita Foy. Now, Rita Foy is a brilliant medium, was down in London. She was started off Lewisham Spiritualist Church. And I think she taught this one here. So that's obviously why I had to obviously get this book. But, okay, it's a short, no, look at the camera, right. Dear. Hello, everybody. Right, short and sweet, all right. Right, it's called Heaven. Fly, spirit, fly, to the place of which we dream, where every soul is safe and warm, and things are what they seem. Mere mortals cannot comprehend this meaning of true peace, a paradise of truth and love, where wars and conflicts cease. Sometimes we glimpse this Eden, we pray for peace on earth, but inner peace won't come until the instant of our rebirth. God bless you, Wendie, and thank you for all that you've done for Spirit. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies, so very, very much. While I talk, I'm just, because people don't like hearing my voice once, let alone twice, and I certainly can't talk over myself. So I've just briefly muted you, and I will unmute you when I finish talking. But I just want to add to what you've just said, because when we first opened Littleport in the name of the New Christian Spiritualist Society, we actually held circles and a couple of services in Wendie's living room. And we had such fun and upliftment. And it reminded me very much of the time when I first sat in circle with yourself, Lynn. And it's just what people don't realize is, and what people didn't know for the most part is, that actually Wendie was an excellent medium in her own right herself. The evidence and the quality that she gave in circle was just astoundingly brilliant. And that needs to also be given note, because yes, she focused more on working for Spirit in an administration role, but I've been reminded by so many of the comments that we have seen over the last few days that she gave so many up and coming new mediums their first bout of platform work here at Littleport. And it was Wendie that did that. Yes, I might have said, just get on with it and do it. That's fine. I agree with you. And some would argue that perhaps you never had any other choice than to say that. But that's not true. We discussed everything, but we wanted Littleport to be a fortress of light, where new and up-and-coming mediums could get their first go. And I've seen so many people remembering that this week, that it just really does give a perfect tribute, in addition, that her work really has been well remembered, and that her gifts that she has given to those that have been developing are not forgotten. And I think that ties in so beautifully, not only with what you said, Lynn, but also with a reading from your own first ever president, which, you know, that would make her my great grandma in spirit, I suppose, for spiritual work. So there we are. I just wanted to add that. You're back.
Right.
The volume's back up now.
You succeeded in muting me completely.
And I can't do that.
Yes, and Wendie, Reverend Wendie, as she insisted, mentioned to me that she said, it's not like you lost your thread there. I was talking about St. Paul, and she said, you know, you went off on one. So the thing is this, that St. Paul told us to discern the spirits, you know, and she was sort of nudging me towards sort of mentioning that, because she felt that was very important. That was very important, that we should say to people who are knocking our way of life and our beliefs that, you know, that St. Paul himself was very, very aware of our way of life. You could say that he was one of the first spiritualists, really. And he gave a whole long letter about spirit and discerning spirit to a rather naughty church in Corinth. You know, wherever spiritualists are, you know, we start churches and we start trouble. And for the Orthodox, of course, not for anybody else, perish thought. And, you know, St. Paul had founded churches everywhere he went. And this one in Corinth they were getting a bit unruly and a bit out of hand. And he was very worried by this, and he started sending them letters. Well, fortunately, you see, the fact is that if they were all behaving themselves, we would never have had all those letters of St. Paul, who was sort of berating everybody, basically. And he wrote a wonderful letter to the church in Corinth, talking about spirits, how we should discern the spirit, and how we all had different gifts of the spirit, and how any religionists can actually read Paul's words in those letters and tell us that what we are doing is absolutely wrong, is absolutely ridiculous. And of course, we don't tell them they're ridiculous. We try and be nice. But, I must say that we should refer them always to Paul's letters to the Corinthian churches, and, and ask them if they wouldn't mind actually reading them out loud to their congregations, as Paul was expecting his deacons and his pastors in those churches to read out to their congregations. Do not forget that probably 90% of the world's population, the known world's population at that time, were actually illiterate. They couldn't read anything for themselves. They had to listen to what they were told, and they had to believe that that was the truth that they were being told. And thankfully, those letters that Paul wrote are still with us. Some of them, of course, we disagree with, because we can see that his own mind was getting in the way, perhaps, should we say, of some of the things that he was purporting to have been given from spirit. And we all know how that happens, don't we, Tony?
Yeah.
Yeah. He thought he was getting away with that then, not being pointed out. But, the fact is that we do get stuff and we think, oh, I don't think that's right. Perhaps I'll change it a little bit, There you have it. And then if somebody writes that down, then somebody else writes it down again, and somebody else writes it down again, over about 100 years, can you imagine what that's going to look like, the original message? I can, because that's what I do, what I used to do for a living, sort out people's written work. And, if I put my pencil over some of the stuff in the Bible, we would be left with the nub and not some of
brochure.
The brochure. So, pardon?
The brochure.
Oh, the brochure. The brochure, as Hyacinth Bouquet would have it. You remember she got a holiday brochure, and she tried to sort of, to sort of leave it where people could see that she was having a holiday. It's sad, really, because of course we're not materialists, and it brings me back to dear Reverend Wendie in that world of spirit, and where brochures mean nothing.
Bless you. Bless you. Thank you ever so much, ladies, for coming on. Let me just mute a second while I talk. That's better. Thank you for coming on. Please do stay around, because there's so much more going on later, and everyone, of course, will be up for the healing and up for the prayers. We've got additions and extras and a second reading to get through as well. So thank you very much for your words, and thank you, Kathy, for your reading. But for now, we will see you shortly. God bless. Well, they behaved themselves. I'm sure that they'll be getting in trouble for that. Well, friends, now is the time in our service where we are going to just take a 2-minute break from the usual order of service and be reminded of a wonderful friend and a true inspiration to spiritualism. So please do join me and take a look at this.
We have lost someone in the church family, Wendie Perry. She used to help Nick Brown at his church. There are times when, as a minister, you're able to speak of joy, but there are also times we must turn our thoughts to sadness. This is one of those times when we receive such news that one of our beloved and respected reverends have passed on to the higher realms of life, and indeed that she must certainly and will be watching over us. As we remember all that she was, let us not forget all that she will be.
We are gathered here today to pay honour and tribute to Reverend Wendie Perry, a friend to all and a pioneer of spiritualism. From the stars we came to the stars we return, from now until the end of time.
You know, we are part of the New Christian Spiritualist Society. The head office is down in Littleport, and this morning the Reverend Wendie Perry from Littleport took our transition home to Spirit. And I'm sure if people have watched Littleport's service, which I know some of you have done, you will have seen Wendie, and I know we want to send our deepest condolences and best wishes and healing prayers to her family. I mean, Wendie just lit up the screen when she came on. She was so funny. She was lovely, bless her.
Wendy overcame all life down here through at her, and she brought that experience to those many years she's been serving the realms of light. The Lord is my shepherd, I'll not want. He makes me down to lie in pastures green. He leadeth me the quiet waters by. My soul he doth restore again, and me to walk doth make within the paths of righteousness, in for his own name's sake.
No, God bless. And I will carry on.
Bless her. Do you know, I've obviously watched that 100 times over the last few days as I've been adding to it and tweaking it, but it still does grab you. And of course, speaking there was our ministry leader of the Ridings, our Archbishop of Yorkshire, Jeanette Bolton, at the beginning there, and of course yourself when you spoke on Monday, and of course Reverend Lynn as well, joining us in there as well. But most importantly, she had to have the final word, as ever. There's no change there. And of course that was actually from the end of her reading that she had 2 weeks ago, when she joined us online and joined us here at our church. Not for the last time, never for the last time, just in the physical sense. And so on that note, I'm now going to ask Alan to join us for our second reading of the evening. Reverend Alan, are you there, darling?
Yes, I am, Nick. Good evening, all. Hope you're all well. Well, what can we say about our dear Reverend Wendie? I, as you know, Nick, didn't plan to do a reading tonight. However, during the course of today, I thought I cannot not give a tribute to someone so dear and close to us all. So I went online about 20 minutes before this service started, and as you know, I rang you, and I normally search through readings to find one that Spirit direct me to. I'm not kidding you, I went directly to this, and I thought it was very fitting, and this is my contribution to our farewell to Wendie in the physical form, as I know she will always be around us. And it is written by Oliver Wright, and it is called All Is Well. Death is nothing at all. I have only slipped into the next room. I am I, and you are you. Whatever we were to each other, that we still are. Call me by my old familiar name. Speak to me in the easy way which you always used. Put no difference in your tone. Wear no forced air of solemnity or sorrow. Laugh as we always laughed at the little jokes we enjoyed together. Play, smile, think of me, pray for me. Let my name be ever the household word that it always was. Let it be spoken without effect, without a trace of shadow on it. Life means all that it ever meant. It is the same as it ever was. There is unbroken continuity. Why should I be out of mind because I am out of sight? I am waiting for you for an interval, somewhere very near, just around the corner. All is well. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan.
Beautiful.
God bless you. And what Alan didn't mention, actually, that I did mention to him when he rang me, because as everybody knows, we don't very often discuss readings. One of the last times that I actually heard that reading, because for once I've actually heard one of Alan's readings. One of the things that I like about Alan picking readings is because I've never heard them before. It's something new and fresh, but I have heard this before. And one of the last times I actually heard it was at one of our first ever meetings under the auspices of the new Christian Spiritualist Society. And it was read on one of our Sunday services as the reading by, I kid you not, Reverend Wendie Perry. And Alan did not know that, because you hadn't moved down here by then. So thank you for your work as a medium tonight, as well as giving us a reading. And thank you so much, my friend.
And
God
to you,
bless you, mate.
and to you. Yeah.
And give Penny a hug for us, because we know she's tired
Will
after
do.
the trip.
Will
So
do. Yeah.
give her a good old hug from us. God bless, mate.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, now is the time in our service when we move on to our healing. Now, normally it would just be us, and then there would be a video, but healing is an important part of this way of life, and certainly at this time, healing is an important part. It is.
Everything we do.
So to begin the healing prayer, and then leading into the video, everyone's coming up to join in with this healing. So be prepared to come up on screen, everyone who is down in my studio, unless you're shaking your head, in which case I won't. And so if you, I've only seen one, so that's fine. So come on up, everybody peeps. I have muted you already, so there won't be an echo, don't worry. Here we go, and here we go, and there we are. I think I've got, yes, everyone is here. So we will have our healing prayer, and then we will have our healing video, and there it is. So let us join together as we say our healing prayer. As we say, Great Spirit, Father, Mother, God, here we bring unto you all those who are sick and suffering and in need of comfort, be they sick in mind, body, or spirit, that it may please thee to heal them, both those we know and those we do not know, and those who have no one to ask for them. We ask for them now. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, friends. I'll let you all back into the green room now. For hello. Beautiful. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. Well, Tony, now is the time in our service where we are going to hand over to your good self for our demonstration of mediumship which is and always will be a cornerstone of our way of life, and is the point of everything we've been saying tonight, proving that life is eternal. And so, no pressure, mate.
No, not at all.
It's
bless.
As much as it is a serious evening, I know that Wendy liked to poke fun at everything I said and would like to poke fun at all the silly little idiosyncrasies. And certainly, if people are watching who are down and dismal and upset, she would give them a right old kick up the backside and tell them to get on with it. Because she's done that to me plenty of times, and I don't mind admitting it. No. So for now, it is over to you, my friend, and we will ask Sandra first. Sandra, are you there, darling?
I am. Hello.
Oh,
hello.
Excellent.
This is Rosie.
Wonderful. Hello,
hello.
Sandra and Rosie. Sandra and Rosie, beautiful.
Yes.
That is so
lovely. When the healing started, so she obviously needed some healing.
Absolutely, yes. Well, I'm going to get out of the way now, and it's over to you for the next 10 or so minutes. God bless, and I'll see you in a bit.
See you soon.
Thank you.
Hi, Sandra. Are you okay?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you.
If you haven't seen me work, I do work with laughter and with humour, but always respectfully. And I know as I'm talking to you, I've got a gentleman that's stepping forward that wishes to speak to you. It comes on a paternal feel for me, which is father, grandfather. He's on that link, but I know he is paternal towards you. And at the moment, darling, he just wants to wrap you up in a blanket and give you a big squeeze and a love and say, it's going to be all right, sweetheart. I can just feel that from him. And I am trying to get some evidence of who I'm working with, but he wants to launch straight into the message for you because he's saying, you just need that right now. You just need that love and that upliftment. It's just making me so, I work with the energy of people and it's making me feel so emotional. Would you understand Father Spirit side?
Yes.
Because it does feel very, very paternal, and I'm getting really hot. So he is coming real close to me. So I know there's that real strong bond, which is why I said you would understand Father Spirit side of life.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh gosh. He's making it very tight around my chest. Would you understand where there would be the complaint around the chest?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, sweetheart. Can you take that away, please, darling? Thank you. He's talking to me about 5. I don't know if that's 5 in a family, mum, dad, and 3 children, 5 grandchildren. But he's talking about the connection with the 5. If you would understand that, please, sweetheart.
That's family.
Thank you. And he's making me play with my watch. You must understand a watch that's been passed.
Yes.
Because he's making me play with my watch, sweetheart, and he's talking about the watch that's been passed.
Yeah.
He is. Oh gosh. All right, darling. He's talking to me about, I know I've given you 5, but he's talking about the 5th of a month. They play games with me with dates. I can be a day off. So it could be the 4th or the 6th, but around the 5th of a month must be significant for a birthday, anniversary, or a passing to spirit.
I can take that.
Bless you, thank you. And he's also talking about the month of July must be important as well around you for anniversaries or birthdays.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, sweetheart. He's given me an ache in my shoulders and my neck. You must be able to understand where somebody requires healing around the shoulders and the neck because it's just getting really warm as if there's healing hands on my back. So he's giving me that as well. And I know we've been talking about glasses a lot today because I was saying to Nick, somebody's putting fingerprints on my glasses when there's nobody about. It's really odd. But you must understand where there's something with the glasses.
Yeah, the screw keeps coming out.
Oh, bless you, because he's playing with my glasses. Yeah. Bless you. All right, darling. He's talking about there are crutches, because he's given me crutches for the family. So Spirit are supporting you and giving you the crutch that you're going to need to get through everything you've got to face, because I know there's a lot coming up for you that you need to get through. And they're saying they're arming you ready for it, sweetheart. Okay, so just know that the family will have the strength and this upliftment to get to where they need to be.
Lovely, thank
you. Is that physical distance you're talking about? You must be able to understand where there's distance in the family, because it's as if he's putting somebody over here and somebody over here. And I didn't know whether he meant there was a distancing in the family, or if there physically was a distance in the family, if you understand. But he's saying there's the separation in the family that he's aware of. Okay, darling. Okay. I have no idea what this means, but he just says it doesn't matter what songs are played. Stop worrying about the songs that will be played. So I don't know what that refers to, but he's talking about not to worry about the songs. No, I don't like that. Say that again. Oh, I get it. Sorry, I was mistaken. What? You're sending thoughts out to Spirit and waiting for replies, and he's saying, wait for the songs. Wait for the songs. So you must be going to listen to songs, and the words will resonate, and you will get the answers that you need through the songs that will be played.
Yeah, they often do that for me. Yes. Okay, that's lovely. Thank you.
Right, okay. And there must be somebody who's going back to books, because he's just starting to pile books in front of me on my desk. So somebody must read, or is a reader, and they're going to go back to the books, because he's showing me books that.
Okay.
And there's something in a book. He's put something in a book like a bookmark, but it's a piece of paper, either a letter or a birthday card or something, and it's in a book, and you will come across it. Just read it. He's just saying read it. So when you do, send Nick a message and let me know that you found it, because he's saying you will find this message that's in the book. Okay, sweetheart.
Thank you.
Right, this is difficult.
Say it as it is.
I know, but it's making me emotional when he's saying it.
No.
He's saying he's got his girls. He's got his girls with him.
Yeah.
And he's talking about they're not lost. They've just moved.
Okay.
They're not lost. They've just moved. So they just moved into a different room, but they're still with you. All right.
Okay.
You must understand a necklace from Spirit as well. I wear a cross and chain and a crucifix.
Right.
But he's talking about a necklace that was left from Spirit. I'm not saying it's a cross and chain. It could be a locket or a St. Christopher, but there's a necklace that's from Spirit. It's in a little box. It's in a little box with bits and pieces in.
Okay.
Because he's just put the box on the desk in front of me. So there's a box and there's a necklace in there.
I'll have a look at Mum's boxes then.
Okay. All right. He's a lovely chap. When I say gentleman, I mean he's a proper gentleman, because his energy is very gentle and his nature is very gentle, and it's just how he's coming through, and he's very, very polite. Very, very polite. Bless you. Okay. Right. I'm hearing the song Amazing Grace. So you must understand why that's significant. And also the old rugged cross is going round in my head as well. So that must be significant as well for you, sweetheart. And I'm not sure if this is symbolic, but I'm hearing also Doris Day, que sera, sera. So, and I just love that line, whatever will be, will be. So
exactly,
just,
yeah.
you know, it is how it is. And it's just put a tiara on your head and said, little princess. So you must understand why he's put the tiara on your head and said, you're my little princess. All right. And I will leave his love with you and say, God bless you. Thank you so much for allowing me to work for him. Thank you.
Thank you,
You're right,
Tony.
Sandra.
Lovely. All of that.
Bless
Yeah.
you.
Oh, fabulous. Yeah.
Good.
Getting over a bit of a cold, and it was a cold, but feeling a lot better. It's the weather change, isn't it? I mean,
yes,
all these sneezes and that we're getting. We just got to be careful. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But Tony, I would say I love the nails.
Oh, thank you, sweetheart. Thank you so much.
There is so much love for the nails in the comment section. It has to be said.
I spotted
almost as much love for the nails as the demonstration of mediumship itself, I might say. I have to say this your prompting, Sandra, and I do apologize in advance, Tony, because I've never told you this story before. But of course, a number of years ago, we originally first booked you to be a medium to actually come down and visit us here at Littleport. It's a long, long time ago. It feels like we've all become different people since then, quite literally in some cases.
Yeah, yeah.
But I do remember the conversation, I've got to say it, with Wendy. And you'd obviously been working online already anyway. And she said, you must watch one of his videos. He's a lovely, lovely bloke, and you're going to love his nails. And so because back then I used to be quite forgetful. Oh wait, I still am. And she would often have to remind me of certain things and comments. And whenever she would remind me about getting you booked up, she'd say, you know, the one with the nails. And so she would always bear great reference to that. So thank you for reminding me of that memory, Sandra, and everybody who's commented the love for the nails.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
Thank you. God bless you. Thank you.
And thank you for being part of tonight, Sandra.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
God bless you, doll. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, now we have still got two people waiting in the wings to have a reading, so we will crack on. Stacey, are you ready to come up, my darling? So I'm now going to leave you with a young lady called Stacey. So here you go. Let's just make sure that we can hear each other. Can you hear me, Stacey? Can you hear me, Stacey?
Hang on a minute. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Oh, we can hear you now. Yes.
Good evening.
Can you still hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Good.
Good evening. I will leave you to it.
Okay.
Bless you. Hi, Stacey. Are you all right?
I'm okay. Yeah, you?
Good. Yes, I'm fine. Thank you. Fine.
Good.
All right. Who have we got? Sweetheart? Okay. I have a lady that's connecting through from Spirit. She's not given me a lot just yet, but she's telling me she's going to make me work for it, which is really good. So she's a lady who will be very, very strong and like to play practical joke, be a bit of a joker, because she's telling me I've got to work for it. So bless you. She's given me. I've got this again. I've got this. Like there's a belt wrapped around my chest, so somebody would have had issues around the heart and lungs prior to their transition to Spirit, because she's just given me this again. Bless you. She's taken me on the maternal link, so she's taken me to mum, grandma, great grandma, that line, and she's given me. What you got? Right. Okay. For some reason, she's just going straight into the message, and I'm asking her to give me some more evidence of who she is, and she's told me no, she wants to talk to you. So you would understand why she's telling me that you've got You've got a lot of, she's given me the scales, so you've got a lot of weighing up to do, pros and cons. Would you understand why she's telling me you've got to add up the pros and cons about things, and you've got decisions rolling around in your head?
Yeah.
Yes or no? Yep.
Yes.
Okay. She's telling me to just think it through and don't leap into something without making sure it's exactly what you need it to be. All right. Okay, sweetheart. She's very strong lady, very sort of, I know my own mind, and I'm determined, and when I make my mind up, I won't be shifted. And she's passing that across and saying, and you too. So you must be a lot like that as well. And you know, you get your mind set on things, and that's where you're going to go. Yeah. And she's put my thumbs up and saying she likes that. But there are times, like I've just said, where you've got to take a step back and just think things through a little bit. She's all right. And she's also telling me that sometimes the filter between here and here can be switched off a little bit, and it's out before, and then you think, oh, I nearly said a word then. You sort of think, oh dear, I shouldn't have said that.
I've been better though. I've been better.
Well, don't tell me that, because she's just saying it's starting to engage you a little bit, but there must be something happening around you now, sweetheart, where she's surprised you haven't said what needs to be said, because she's saying she'd have said it long before now. So there must be a situation around you where you're thinking, because if I start, it'll go. All right. And she's just saying, you've done really well to hold back. Right. She's showing me green shoots coming out of the table. And when I see these green shoots, it usually means that there's a new start or a new beginning around you. So would you understand where there's a fresh start needed, or you're making a fresh start with something? Because she's just bringing this in. And she's also making me aware that, all right, she's given me around the 15th of a month that must be significant around you for a birthday anniversary or a passing to spirit. And she's also talking about, the anniversary of a passing that's around. It must be in the next few weeks, because she's talking about the anniversary of the passing that's close by. And also that, all right. She's talking about 4. So there must be 4 people in spirit that you would hold dear. There's more than that up there around you, but there must be 4 special people that are in spirit, that stand with you, that have your back. And she's going 2 and 2, so I don't know if it's 2 ladies and 2 gentlemen or what the relations are, but there's 2 and 2 that she's talking about as well with you. Again, I've got to tell you that there is a lot of support around for you now from spirit, so they are giving you all the strength and the upliftment that you need. And I've also got that, right, okay. Somebody must be coming to a T-junction as well in their life where there's got to be a change. There's got to be a turn left or a turn right, because there's no going on as we are. So there must be a reason why there's going to be a big change to someone close by you. If it's not yourself, it must be somebody really close where there's got to be that change, or there's that big change coming. And again, the spirit are just saying, trust your gut and trust your instincts, because you know which decision is the right one for you. It might not be the easy road, but sometimes the harder road reaps the greatest rewards. So just be prepared for that. She's telling me that you've got the smarts, you've got the smarts to achieve anything you want to achieve. You've just got to trust yourself. But the only person that's stopping you doing what you want to do is you, because you have that self-doubt inside. You put on this brave front to the world, but there's that niggling doubt sometimes. And she's saying, you've got to stop that. You've got to stop that, because you can achieve whatever you need to achieve. Oh gosh, okay. Right. I don't know how to put that. Would you understand where around you there's been a difficult relationship, where there's been a bit like there was friction or something? Because she's just talking about there's somebody around you where there's been that difficult relationship, and sometimes you've just got to accept that it just sometimes isn't meant to be. Would you understand that? Because she's just right. Okay. Because, and all right. Okay. Bless you. She's making me aware that you hold your head high and you look forward, learn the lessons from the past, but always keep your eyes forward, because that's where you're going and that's where your focus has to be. You would understand as well why she's saying she's so proud of your family, and the way you've overcome all that you've overcome in your life. Because I want to say, if we go back maybe 2 years, if you look at the person you were then and the person you are now and how far you've come, she just wants to give you the big, huge thumbs up and tell you you have all of her love and you always will. All right, sweetheart.
Thank you.
Are you all right?
I'm okay, yeah. Thank you very much.
Oh, bless you.
You all right, Stacey?
Yeah, thank you.
Do you want to tell him, or do you want me to wait until later?
I think that was Nat.
This is Wendy's granddaughter.
Oh, God bless you.
She knows exactly what she was saying. She did confuse me a little bit, though, when you said just before the end there was a little bit of confusion, but no, it was definitely Nat. It was Wendy.
Well,
Nat.
all right. If everything else was okay, sweetheart, then the bit you weren't sure of, you'll probably find it.
She's told me before that sometimes it doesn't make sense now, but it will make sense. So
bless you.
But there's only one thing there that's I thought I was on the right track with you, but then when you brought it back again towards the end, you just confused me. But I think it will make sense. I know it will make sense.
It will.
Bless you. Bless you.
But
I hope it does, darling.
Everything else was really good. Thank you very much.
Bless you. Bless you.
And thank you, everyone, to everything that you've said. So kind words about my nan.
Stacey, love, there's no need to thank us, because we all mean it. And it's all true.
I didn't realise I knew she was a very loved person, but this is a whole nother level. She touched so many people's lives, but she was always my nan.
My only regret is that I didn't get to meet her in the physical.
Person.
But
you have now.
Bless you. Bless you.
Thank you very much.
God bless you. Thank you so much.
Going to let you get back to things, Stacey, but do stay around if you'd like to for the closing prayer, and we'll bring you back up at the end, darling. But for now, God bless you, my sweet, and we'll see you soon.
See you soon, darling.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, bless.
Sorry to do that to you, but you know Wendy does like a little bit of a practical joke and a trick, and to wind people. But there is evidence, and wow.
Well, she was just adamant she was going to make me work for it, and she was stepped right back, so I couldn't tell who it was. It was just all coming in. So bless her. Bless her. I love it.
There you go. Proof of survival. Now I think we need a little bit of upliftment.
Oh wow, don't we?
I know one of the favourite traditions of everybody in this church, and certainly much loved by Wendy, because she always looked forward to it and would always ask before the service if a certain young lady was coming on. It is time for the final reading of the evening in a moment, but we always ask, what time is it at this particular point? So what time is it?
Prize.
Bully's special prize. Let me bring you both up, because we haven't seen much of Sam today. Swing the camera around, Mum.
Hiya.
How are you, ladies?
Very, we're good. Bit emotional. Yeah. But,
yeah.
Fantastic reading, Tony. Brilliant.
Bless you. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Thank you.
Everybody's saying that on here. The comments coming up, and I've got to share this one, because that is a favourite comment of mine. You can't beat a bit of bully, and you certainly can't. And I remember doing a video of the pictures of Hannah actually getting bully, because of course Wendy couldn't make it that night, and she was over the moon. And was part of the tribe and troop that actually clubbed together and got that for Hannah back in the day. So
nice.
Now you know. So thank you for coming up, ladies, and we will see you at the end.
Bye. Bye.
Well, now let's put you back on half screen.
Thank you.
And we are now coming to our final reading of the evening. So, Kate, are you ready to come up? She is. Right, I'm going to bring Kate up. Hello, darling.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. And I will leave you to it.
Thank you, Nick.
Oh.
No,
whoops.
wrong one.
Wrong one. I messed something up at some point, didn't I?
Hi, Kate. Are you okay?
I'm fine. Thank you, Tony. Yourself?
Yeah. I'm very good. Very good. Like Sam's just said, a bit emotional tonight.
Certainly is.
But such a
lovely
privilege to be asked to serve on this special service. It really is. Okay, who have we got? Okay. Oh, I've got goosebumps. Right, I have a lady and a gentleman. I've got one stood either side of me. Who's going to talk to me? Okay, the lady's coming through. The lady, as she's connecting with me, she wants me to sort of sit up tall and put my head up. So it's a lady who would have been very particular about appearances, because, good job you can't see, I've got my shirt untucked and she's wanted me to tuck it in. So she's a lady who would be very particular about appearances, and she liked to look smart. Come on, sweetheart. Closer. Right. Okay. She's right. Okay. She's a lady again who knows her own mind and what she wants to say. But I feel like this lady would have chosen her words very carefully. So she would have said just the right thing to say to people. And she feels like she's the type of lady that would just sit down and you could have told her anything. But she's coming on a close family vibration for you. So I believe this would be, again, like mum, grandma, but somebody of that, or somebody who's mother type figure to you while she was on earth plane, if you would understand this, please. And she's, okay. She is a lady who would have, she's spreading my arms out, which makes me feel like she would have gathered the family close. So she's a lady who would have been very family orientated, but she's also telling me that if somebody crossed her or one of hers, she'd go at them like a lioness, if you'd understand that as well, please. All right, darling. she's telling me that she's around you a lot at the moment. Would you understand why at the minute, it's been a night for this, you need a bit of support and upliftment from the world of spirit around now? And she's talking to me also about some concerns, health issues, that type of thing, because she's given me healing. And I get green energy for physical healing and lavender energy for emotional support. And I've got both. So there must be a reason why she's coming in with physical healing around you and also emotional support and upliftment. And again, like I said to the young lady that's just been on, that she's telling me that you also need to learn the lessons from the past and move forward and not repeat them. Okay. And again, I want to say she's so proud of how you've climbed that mountain, because I feel like at times it feels like you've been climbing by your fingertips up Mount Everest, and she's telling me you're at that camp just before the peak. So she's saying we're not quite over the top yet, but we're nearly there. We're nearly there. All right. And she's telling me she's so proud of how you've stood on your own 2 feet and said, you know, this isn't getting me down. I'm going to get through this. Okay. Would you... I don't want to ask the question. No, I'll make a statement. You must understand why she's wagging her finger a little bit, not at you, but at people around, because she's saying sometimes people have added to the burden rather than taken some of that burden away. Would you understand this, please? And it's people who really, really should have known better, because she's really given me a bit of a finger wagging for this. I can't say that. Right.
Just say it, Tony. Just say it.
No. She's telling me just keep remembering karma is a
bitch.
That's the word I wasn't going to use. and the universe will make sure that people get what is coming to them. All right. Okay. You must also be able to place for me a gentleman. I don't know if it's the gentleman that was stood with me earlier, but a gentleman who was a real practical joker and loved laughter and was a real genuine, all right, I'll say it like that, sir, a real genuine guy. You know, you could have had the last penny out of his pocket if he thought you needed it. And somebody who would have, I don't know why, I've just got an image in my head of like sitting you on a bench and putting plasters on your knee and there, it's all going to be all right and it's going to be okay. So a very paternal energy as he's connecting with me. And he's saying he would still put the plaster on your knee with the magic cream and tell you everything was going to be okay if he could, sweetheart, because that's what you need. You need somebody to just put a plaster on it and tell you it's all going to be all right. And that's what he's coming through with, sweetheart. Right, okay. I've got an image before me of, it looks to me like a wedding photograph in a frame, a really old wedding photograph in a frame. And it's like he's there and the bride, and he's just saying he wants you to remember them like that, not like they were at the end, if you understand, because he's saying sometimes you need to look back and remember the good times, but like I said, learn the lessons from there and move forward without repeating the mistakes. But to err is human, to forgive is divine, and that's what he's coming through with as well. And he's saying, don't hold on to all of the negativity that's been building up. You know, look for the positives, because if you look for positive and you keep positive energy, you will attract positivity and positive energy. Because sometimes it is easy to think, well, they shouldn't have treated me like that, and you know, and
It's
to,
about having the right attitude, do you think?
that's what he's saying. Just
I know
keep
who that
a
is.
positive mental attitude, and
I know who that is. Yeah.
keep the positivity, because he was quite a positive guy. He was always the pint is half full, it's never half empty, and he would always find the good in things, even when somebody.
And I'm very much like that as well.
Even when somebody really treats you like rubbish, he would always find the positive in it. Well, look at what we learned by that, you know, look at what we learned and how we move forward in that. Even when it was like, all right, okay, bless you, sweetheart, making things stretch and robbing Peter to pay Paul because we didn't have a lot, we would always be happy because we had each other. And he's saying, we've still got each other, sweetheart. It's just, I'm not physical. I'm here, you know. You would all understand as well, somebody who lights candles for people in spirit, just lights a candle and remembers them on birthdays and anniversaries and things, because he's talking about he's there when that happened. And he's also talking about something that was done in memory. I don't know if he means like planting a bush or a tree or something, but something was done in memory. Thumbs up because he loved it. He loved it. All right. All right. And he's also wanting to acknowledge the younger person on Earth plane who just needs a little bit of pulling in a little bit, because they're just starting to run ahead a little bit, and you know, he can see the pitfalls coming up. So he's saying, just, you can't control their lives completely, but just pull them in a little bit and give them some guidance. Then if you choose to ignore it, if you choose to ignore it, then you've done your bit. All right. But he's saying, again, typical of him, I can just feel it. Just be there to pick up the pieces when it all goes to you in the custard. So just be there to pick up the pieces, and again, put the plaster on and say, it's going to be all right, sweetheart. All right.
Thank you.
And as he's pulling back from me, I can just see a pocket watch.
Why?
He's just put a pocket watch on my table. So I don't know if there's a pocket watch that he would have had, or
there was a watch, but not a pocket watch. But
no, I don't like that. I don't like that. I need to find out what he means. Okay. Would you understand why you feel like there isn't enough hours on the day? Because as I look at this pocket watch, it goes up to about 19. It goes past 12, right round to about 19. So you must not have enough hours in the day sometimes, because this watch just looks like it's got like 19 hours on it. And he's just saying...
Okay, I'll have to think about that one.
Right. All right. And again, like we always say with the healing, it's all right to look after everybody else, but we have to sometimes look after ourselves. So I think what that is symbolic for is stop spending all of your time on everybody else, and sometimes take that little hour out for you, sweetheart. Even if it's just stick your feet in a bowl of warm water and watch Coronation Street. All right, darling. Other soaps are available, obviously.
Thank you.
Bless you, sweetheart. Thank you.
No, thank you, Tony. Thank you.
Thank you, darling. Bye-bye.
Well, Kate, how was that for you? How are you feeling?
I'm Wendy's daughter, Tony.
Oh God.
Sorry,
I'm Stacey's mother. I'm Stacey's mother. And Wendy's my mother. Got ya twice.
Bless you. Nick.
The anniversary that you were talking about with Stacey that's coming up is my mum's mum. And she passed on the 18th of October.
Wow.
I'm not sure if Stacey would know that.
And there's 4 generations there. And that was your 4.
That's the 4.
Yeah. And the gentleman, when I said, you said about the positive energy and how you look at things, that's why I asked you, but could it sort of be the attitude?
Yeah,
and how you think, and that is the first time in just over 14 years. That was my dad, my mum's husband, my mum's first husband.
Wow.
Yeah, because he had a thing about, if you add up the letters on the alphabet of attitude, it comes to 100. Like A is 1,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That one.
Yeah, and he was a firm believer in that. So yeah, so that was, I think, the first person that came through was my mum's mum. I think that was my nan, Mincy, I used to call her. And
you were talking about her the other day to me.
I wasn't I? Yeah. And then the gentleman, for the first time ever, and I've not been to many. I'll be honest. I've not been to many reading meetings and that, but and I've had a few messages. But that's the first time that was definitely when you said about the positive side of things. And I said about that. Could that also mean attitude? That's definitely, the pocket watch has thrown me a little bit, but there is. I always used to find there was never enough time in the day. So, but anyway, yeah. I minute you said when Stacey first came on, the minute. Yeah, I knew that was Mum straight away. I don't know if I realised it before Stacey did, but straight away. Yeah.
Well,
and then
my deepest condolence.
No, thank you very much. It was lovely. Sorry we got you twice. That's down to Nick.
Wendy would have had it no other way. I was only doing as I was told.
Yeah, thank you for what you said for my Stacey, though. That's and that was spot on. Absolutely
Bless
spot
you.
on.
Thank you. It's always
so
lovely
much
to receive feedback.
That was amazing. You couldn't have got it any more
it's spirit. It's not me. I just give what they give me. I really do.
Yeah. And I think it was great that you didn't know who we were.
No
idea. I could tell by the look on your face when Nick said that's Wendy's granddaughter. I think you might punch him next time you see him.
Well, it's a good job that the closest I'll be getting to Rotherham in the next 48 hours is at 32,000 feet. That's all I'm saying.
Thank goodness. And again, I knew Mum was very well liked and loved, but to the extent I'm astounded. And thank you, everybody. I've had friend requests and messages from people that
we've never even heard of.
Overwhelming. I mean, Mum and I didn't have the most harmonious of relationships towards the end. But we could just have our argument, and then an hour later we were mum and daughter again. And it used to rile me sometimes when people would say how wonderful she was, but she really, 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 really was. And thank you so much to everybody.
Should be a huge loss.
She is a huge emptiness.
I do hope she allows me to work for her again, because she was lovely.
Yep.
She really was.
I'm sure she will. I like the way.
Do you really think you're going to get a choice in the matter?
No. And
I liked it when you said she's going to make you work for it. I knew then it was her. Thumbs up. She was thumbs up in Sunday night before she passed away.
Oh, bless her.
She actually thumbs up my husband, Stacey's dad.
And your dad was a true gentleman as well. He really was.
Yeah. And he always saw the good in people as well. Yeah, and he would give you the last pound out of his pocket. Yeah. So no, thank you. Thank you.
God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Love you all. Thank you. Hi, Amanda. I can't get up on the chat thing.
No, you can have a read afterwards, don't
I will do.
There's
but I just wanted Amanda to know I was here, so she's been amazing.
She's seen, in actual fact, she's been having a bit of a giggle as well. So job done, I think.
Excellent.
So thank you for coming on, and we'll obviously be speaking in the not too distant time.
Yes, definitely. Thank you, Nick, and thank you, Tony, again. Love the nails.
Bless.
My mum had beautiful nails.
They need doing again. I've got to do them.
We'll see you at the end, darling. We'll bring you back.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Tony. Bye, everybody.
Bye, darling. Bye.
Sorry, Tony, but not sorry,
That's all right.
Tony.
That's all right. But
because
I just want to say before you go on, thank you so much to everybody for allowing me to work on this very wonderful service. It's been amazing, and it has been a real honour to be asked to do this tonight. It means a lot to me.
You're very welcome. You are very, very welcome. And you guys up north, you're all family. And I've often said that Bridlington is my second home. And of course, they've got their own place now as well. And you're involved. And I think Sarah did a rather wonderful job in your absence on Wednesday as well.
I caught little bits.
Yes.
It was wonderful.
I did actually lift a snippet because the piece where Jeanette was speaking about Wendie in the video, which for all those that are interested, I will share as a separate video after the service. That snippet was actually lifted from Wednesday's service. So
bless.
There we are. Well, there is one more person that I would. Oh, hello, Sarah. She's just acknowledged her praise from the old man down south. There's one more person that hasn't spoken this evening that I would like to speak, because another Littleport tradition that people don't see is a conversation that I have to hear constantly, ping, 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 even though they could get on with it between the two of them themselves, is an absolute thorough discussion about how the evening went between Wendie and someone else, who just happens to be Linda. So, Linda, darling.
Yes.
Hello, Mum.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
So, what do you reckon she'd be saying right now? What would you be getting as a text right now?
Well, she'd be saying, I don't know what they're saying all that for. Because she never took the praise that she should have done. Yeah, I used to have to text her after every service when she couldn't get to the hall, and explain how the medium was, how the night was there many there, and then it snowballed into every other thing. And I nearly texted this afternoon. There's a picture. We used to send each other pictures, and there's this picture of this funny little animal, and I thought, oh, I'll show that to Wendie. And then I realised that she probably could see it, but not on text.
No.
But yeah, I shall miss our texts. Yeah.
I have to say, you first.
Well, so we had a funny relationship, because I used to panic about the mediums and everything, and then all of a sudden she said, "Don't worry, it'll work," and it did. Yeah, and I said, "I don't think it will. I think you shouldn't be doing this. We should be doing that." And she says, "Yes, we should." Bless her, and yeah. She will be missed.
I don't think for a second that we're getting away with it that easy. But I will say that I will miss the persistent pinging, right down to the fact that I was actually awoken by my phone ringing the other morning, but no one was actually on it, and there was no missed call. But I did hear a voice say, "How many views have I got?" So, let's just say she's doing all right on that score as well. So,
and it was my glass that landed on the floor. When I heard she'd passed that evening, I laid there and I said, "Wendie, if you're about, just let me know, do something." And my glasses were on the table. And a few minutes later, I said to Francis, "Who put my glasses on the floor?" And yeah, he was around.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have to say, for those that haven't been able to see the comments, so many people have been affected by with their glasses today, literally today. So she is definitely working overtime. I have to say, and thank you for putting this into my head, whoever, of course. One of the things that we are told generally in mediumship is, oh, don't expect them to come through too quickly. It's going to be a good 6 months before they want to come. Let me tell you, they come when they want. And when it comes to Wendie Perry, she'd come exactly when she wants. But this is proof tonight that spirit will come back when they are good and ready. And if that means 1 day, 1 minute, 2 days, 2 years, they will come, and they will always come. And I have to say, as much as I said to everyone this afternoon about how Wendie was a very good medium, your mediumistic abilities, Mum, are always been better than you thought. And the one person who always had your back on that, and was always telling you in our circle that you were better than you thought. And her name again was Reverend Wendie Perry. So you will come back to the workshops and you will work hard and you will develop your mediumship. Otherwise, it's not just me you've got to deal with now.
Yeah, she'll be about.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for coming up, Mum. And I think now will be an appropriate time to have a closing prayer before we all do that very other special tradition. And I think we're all going to need it, maybe with a little tot of something in it as well, of having our tea after the service. So until the end, Mum, I'll see you in a bit.
Bye.
Well, when we speak of final words, it is absolutely time to bring back Reverend Lynn Gibb de Swart and Deacon Reverend Kathy Gibb de Swart to have their final say on the service. Are you there, ladies?
Are you there, ladies?
We are indeed. Yes, we're here. We're here. Congratulations to Tony Swindells. Medium, rare, because there are so many mediums, thank God. But we are all of different abilities and, levels of accomplishments. We all have different gifts, as we mentioned. But you have proved beyond doubt that there is life after the transition we call death, to everybody's satisfaction. I think it's wonderful. You've done such a wonderful job. We don't get any reward, really, do we? Except the thanks and love. And I think that's everything. And you have increased the love around you millionfold, I think, tonight.
Bless you. Thank you for saying
done a wonderful job. And I know that our dear friend, Reverend Wendie Perry, will have been there every step of the way, ready to clip you around the ear if you went wrong, which you didn't. And I'm sure that your last recipient will suddenly place that pocket watch somewhere in her memory, because they give us memories too. And sometimes we forget things over the years, but that pocket watch, I'm sure, will turn up in her memory bank. It's been a pleasure and a privilege to watch everybody this evening pay tribute to Reverend Wendie, and to think that so many people have been touched and helped and supported by her and are still being that. This is what I think is wonderful about our way of life, that we know that people continue in their individual personality way to be able to communicate back with us and to help us and support us while we live the remaining time down here, and they have gone on before us and are so caring of us and looking after us every step of the way. I think it's wonderful. So thank you so much, Tony, and I look forward very much, as I'm sure everybody will, to your actual ordination, because in ordinary times you would have already received that ordination, but we will get a move on, and I think Reverend Wendie is really pushing us to do that now for you, because it does make a difference to us.
And I'd like to say something, that Wendie came through and said you're booked for the next medium for the whole month. So you are booked. And you were superb. I've got to say.
Thank you. It's spirit. It's spirit.
The giveaway, what I think is hilarious is I spotted this lady, the last recipient, and I said, that's Wendie. She's just identical of Wendie, her face and everything. So God bless you, because you didn't spot that it was actually Wendie's daughter, and I did. And you got the spirits through. You actually got the messages through. And that's what is evidence of a great medium. And you truly are. God bless you.
Bless you. Thank you so much.
And I will just add that kind of praise from those two doesn't come very often.
Exactly. And that's why you're up north and we're down here. God bless you.
Bless you. God bless you. Thank you.
Just going thumbs up, and it's lovely to meet her daughter and granddaughter, and she was so loved by everybody. Okay, she might have upset a few people, but she could have a good laugh, and she's having a good laugh, and thumbs up to everybody. God bless you all.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, ladies. And thank you, dear Reverend Nick, for accomplishing so much. And I know that everybody is proud of you, and you've done so much for everybody. And I'm just delighted that this young 18-year-old has developed into this.
Had you put up with her?
Older person with so much knowledge. You've gleaned so much knowledge over the years, Reverend Nick, and I'm so proud to.
We are proud of you.
Yeah,
from the bird that you killed. Can you put this bird out of its misery?
No, we won't talk about that.
That you managed to get through from Spirit.
Yeah,
you did
I think
well.
Yeah,
your pathway was made.
I promise that Kathy isn't
I won't
necessarily
be coming on here again. It's all
again.
right. I won't upset
we'll
anybody.
just thank you, Reverend.
This is water, which you make after wine.
Well, a lot of people wouldn't believe that. Thank you so much for everything that you do, Reverend Nick. And I think you better mute us or get rid of it.
Absolutely. I will just say that as a dutifully good young man for you, I had actually written it down, so I will type it up for you as well, because I expected that to come. So thank you both. God bless you both. But for now, I am putting you on mute, and I'll see you in a bit.
God bless you, all of you.
Well, Tony, stunning evening. Well done, mate. Sorry to have tricked you, but not sorry.
I would rather not know.
Swindells, no, I am not still 18. I'm 42 this year, but thank you for the honest, kind appraisal of my age. Look, friends, this is what it's all about, and this is what Wendie wanted, always wanted. An uplifting evening with surprises, twists, turns, mickey takings, laughter and love, but proof and truth. And I think we've had that in spades. So thank you for coming on and being the what was that? Thank you for being the victim of the evening for Wendie to play with. So well done, mate. God bless you. And let's have everyone up for the closing prayer. What I will say, though, friends, if you want an answer, because nobody else has noticed this because you can't see it at the moment, is if you want to answer to your pocket watch, hang around until the very end of the closing credits. That's all I will say, because no one has spotted it yet, but I have. Hang around to the closing credits is all I will say. So let's have everyone back up and we will have our closing prayer. There we go. So everyone is here. So let us join together as we say, Great Spirit, Father, Mother, God, we thank you for the opportunity to come together as friends, to unite under your banner of love and hope and friendship, and to bear witness and give thanks to the life that was and will continue eternally to be Reverend Wendie Perry. We thank you for every moment we shared along the path with her, and we are reminded at this time to take advantage of every moment on the path that we have together. And I ask for a blessing to be placed on each person here present and all those that will be present throughout the week, so that your love and light may shine upon them all until we meet again, which will as ever be in the name of love, truth and light. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Well, friends, the time has come to say goodnight, for every road must end, as the song says. But tonight we have joined together, we have said our thanks, had our laughs, had our tears, but we will never ever forget that grand old dame of spiritualism who will continue to interfere, put us right, tell us what's what, and give us a good kicking when we need it. God bless you and good luck all those in spirit. You've got the governor now. Good night, God bless. And she's with you. So to everyone at home, thank you for being part of this evening of love and upliftment. And she will continue.
She will forever. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
God bless you.
I knew it was Nan, Stace. I knew it was Nan.
Bless you.
I'm so
And
happy
on that,
for you.
bless you, bless you. God bless you all. God bless you. God bless you all. Good night. May the peace
Thank
of the
you,
Great
Nick.
Spirit go with you all. But
Good
until
night.
next week, when we will be back, good night.
We
Good
have
night.
lost someone in the church family, Wendie Perry. She used to help Nick Brown at his church. There are times when, as a minister, you're able to speak of joy, but there are also times we must turn our thoughts to sadness. This is one of those times when we receive such news that one of our beloved and respected reverends have passed on to the higher realms of life, and indeed that she must certainly and will be watching over us. As we remember all that she was, let us not forget all that she will be.
We are gathered here today to pay honour and tribute to Reverend Wendie Perry, a friend to all and a pioneer of spiritualism. From the stars we came to the stars we return, from now until the end of time.
You know, we are part of the New Christian Spiritualist Society. The head office is down in Littleport, and this morning the Reverend Wendie Perry from Littleport took our transition home to Spirit. And I'm sure if people have watched Littleport's service, which I know some of you have done, you will have seen Wendie. And I know we want to send our deepest condolences and best wishes and healing prayers to her family. I mean, Wendie just lit up the screen when she came on. She was so funny. She was lovely, bless her.
Wendie overcame all life down here through at her, and she brought that experience to those many years she's been serving the realms of light. The Lord is my shepherd, I'll not want. He makes me down to lie in pastures green. He leadeth me the quiet waters by. My soul he doth restore again, and me to walk doth make within the paths of righteousness, in for his own name's sake.
Good night and God bless. And I will carry on.